little history of the tune. Obviously, it's called Have You Met Miss Jones? It was written by Rodgers and Hart. It was written for a musical called I'd Rather Be Right, which was a political satire of a fictionalized president. The show is not all that popular anymore and kind of faded pretty quickly, but the song endured. The appeal of the tune is probably due to harmonic sophistication, especially for the time, because it was 1937 when it was written. The most notable feature about it, and we'll talk about it when we get there, is the bridge, which modulates through three different keys that are each a major third apart. This was a harmonic idea that Coltrane kind of grabbed onto and is the basis for Giant Steps that came out in the late 50s, early 60s. It's been recorded a whole bunch of times by all kinds of people: Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Tony Bennett, Joe Pass, Oscar Peterson, Chet Baker. The list goes on and on.
People are pretty polarized about whether or not they like this one. This was one that I thought was so dumb for the longest time, and then it occurred to me something different. And look at it. I met Miss Jones. Someone said as we shook hands, she was just Miss Jones to me. And then I said, Miss Jones, you're a girl who understands that I'm a man who must be free. And all at once I lost my breath, and all at once was scared to death, and all at once I owned the earth and sky. Now I've met Miss Jones, and we'll keep on meeting till we die, Miss Jones and I. It's about falling in love. It's kind of the like, what was lost on me was the man who must be free. And it took me a long time to finally hear the bridge as he says that and is immediately wrong. It's just like, and then all of a sudden, everything was different. Like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then immediately as wait, all of those different key centers that we hit on the bridge is actually him going, whoa, wait, everything's different now. I'm in love. So kind of snuck into a really nice sentiment after me being like, this is dumb and I like this, whatever. Harmonically, if we're looking, you can see that there are Roman numerals above the chord tones. So I'll be talking in kind of key agnostic here moving forward. We are in the key of concert C, or F, excuse me, concert F. You're in the key of concert F. From a form standpoint, it's AABA. Realistically, like we're mostly broadly in the key of F. F for the A sections. Within that first A, we're doing we call this a diminished passing tone. We'll talk some more about it later. But realistically, that's just kind of a half-step movement to kind of gussy up that F major chord to go up to the 2. So that first 4 bars, really 1 for 2 bars, 2, 5, then a 3, 6, 2, 5. So outside of that diminished chord, really it's a 1, 2, 5, and then a 3, 6, 2, 5. And we do that whole thing again, but this time the 2, 5 at the end, the second ending is 2, 5 to 4 to get us into that bridge. Really gives you big leading into that bridge place. A lot of these old charts, this one is a little bit different. A lot of the times the melody will be the same here, and there will be a 2, 5 that's added depending on where you're going. If the melody was the same here, you could have a 2, 5 to 1 or a 2, 5 to 4, depending on if it's the first A or the second A. This one also does something a little bit different harmonic or melodically so that it can lead us in there for a longer time. 2, 5 to 4 goes to 4, 2, 5 to flat 2 to flat 2, 2, 5 to 6 to 6, 2, 5 to flat 2 to flat 2, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, and then back to 1. 1, diminished passing, 2, and then it goes 5, goes down a step, call that a tritone sub of 5 of 3. We'll get more into that later. 2, 5 of 2, 2, 5, 1.
So the bridge really starts on measure 11, right?
Yep.
It starts,
Measure
yep.
11, yep.
Yeah, and then that 19, that's the A section again repeated. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
A prime,
Right.
essentially. It is a version of A, but yeah. Song form, 8, 8, 8, and 8, AABA. I kind of forget that this stuff, like, this song structure is so common, and we're very diligent here at Center for Musical Arts about this being like 4s. You're generally looking at written music in sets of 4s or 8s. And so when you look at this, first 4 bars, second 4 bars, and there's a second ending there. So at sight, you can know, if you see that repeat, you know that those first 2 lines are 16 bars, if it's engraved well. And then the last one is the same thing. So every section, generally, when you're looking at lead sheets, they're supposed to be engraved as in a way that you're looking at 4 bars at a time. So this was single page 32 bar form.
Well, you said the bridge, it moves up a major third, and does that twice, or does that?
Let's take a look at it. We're in B flat on the 4 chord, right? And so B flat to G flat, is that up or down a third?
It's a major third
Major third
down.
down.
Oh, no,
Third down.
Major third
Wait,
down.
wait, okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like B flat is the third of G flat.
Yeah.
Then we do it again.
There we go. If that's a chord, D, F sharp, B flat,
That's an augmented chord. Yes, it is.
C. And so kind of thinking about this, it is difficult to look at it from a standpoint of like 2/5 to this, 2/5 to that, 2/5 to this. And even like as we were doing the analysis, 2/5 to 4, 2/5 to flat 2, 2/5 to 6, 2/5 to flat 2 is just cumbersome to think about in that way. Kind of think about it as if you're at the 4 chord, walking down an augmented chord, because augmented chord, all of them are the same all the way down. So they're symmetrical. So if you're walking down an augmented chord, then that's a little bit easier to think about.
The thing that I latch onto, I think it's a little, again, I try to come at things as practically as possible. We're starting the bridge on that 4 chord. The next bar, when we get the 2/5 to flat 2, rather than thinking of 2/5 to flat 2, I'm looking at the difference between the 4 chord and then the 2 of the flat 2, the next 4. For me, I'm looking at B flat, and then it goes to A flat. That's down a step. That's all I'm thinking about there. Okay, we're in B flat, great. Then I go down a step and it starts a 2/5, which then lands on G flat. Oh, and then the next one, oh look, I'm just going down another step. When I get to the last bar there, when I finally get to the 2 of 6, for me that's an E minor chord. So that's from G flat, that's just down another step. So I started at B flat, then I moved down a step to A flat. It's a 2/5. I land on G flat. I move down a step to E. It's a 2/5. I land on D, and now I just have to get myself back to that A flat chord where we, kind of where we started, to land on the flat 2 again. So I'm kind of looking at the intervals between the roots of the chords, and to me that's a little bit easier than thinking about, oh God, now I was in 1 flat, now I'm in 5 flats, and then I'm in 2 sharps, and I'm just looking at how it's progressing. I'm just moving it down a step. I'm doing the same thing, move it down a step. Oh, and then I do it again, move it down a step. Awesome, easier.
So yeah, no, oh, so it's a tritone substitution
For the 5 of B, correct. The 5 of B. Yeah, because jazz is, I had a teacher tell me that jazz is never about where you are, it's always about where you're going. You're always leading somewhere new. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a tritone sub for the 5 of 3, or in this case, the 5 of your B minor chord.
And to think about what a tritone sub is doing, you're switching 2 of the pitches out so that 2 of the pitches can stay the same. A normal 5/1, you're moving it, the 7th the same, and getting a different chord so that you can walk down to something. And so what it's effectively doing is giving you a dominant a half step above where you're going. So in your instance, you have that CB, right? And so if you had a 2/5/1 there, going to B, C sharp, F sharp, B. Instead now, if it were a full 2/5/1, it goes C sharp, C, B.
Yeah.
And so you have this chromatic movement.
Creates the chromatic movement, especially in the bass. The bass is moving chromatically down, which is a very, very powerful sound.
And very akin to the diminished passing chord that also happens in this tune.
Which kind of does the same thing, but instead of going down, it goes up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chromaticism. We're always, especially in jazz, we're always looking for chromaticism. The half step is a very powerful sound, and we try to harness that as much as possible.